Iggy.
It's my birthday!
Back.
Birthday!
Yeah, it's the
birthday!
boy's
Birthday! Birthday!
I hope we can complete this on my birthday. This
No.
case.
No.
The
It'd be
Adventure
kinda
of the
funny if
Clouded
we did.
Kokoro.
But also for context for people watching the video, it's his birthday on the day that we're recording, not the day that this releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Gerda. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Gerda house are top hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. What do we press?
Start from the top, I guess.
How can you say that for certain? Stevie, you voiced this guy.
Let's see. I know. I had to remember. I gotta remember what I did for him. What did I do for him? I know I unlocked the mouth since he's awake now. I know that much.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Hold on. Mouth, he was like, hold on. Mouth, he was like,
Yeah, yeah.
So he would be like, a very good question, sir.
Maybe.
I don't know. It was something like that.
Yeah, that. The hello kind of was.
Huh?
Just do it. Just do it.
And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder of all us policemen of our sworn duty.
It was a little
I think it was
deeper.
something like
It was a
that.
little deeper, I think.
You're thinking of when he got closer, like, hello there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only when he's holding the other one in his arms.
Say your line now.
Okay.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember.
You patrol the streets of London towns in the uphold base. Oh God, I'm having a stroke.
Don't have
To
a
patrol
stroke.
the streets to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that's why I can stand here and stay beside my long, suffering wife and tell you all Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. Sap!
Now, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Alrighty.
No, this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb?
See, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yes? No, he's not sleeping.
EP again.
I very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British intuition of Scotland Yard.
Institution.
I think I found it. Institution, whatever. Again, I have been up for 15 minutes. You shush. So I will hope you'll take back some tales for us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. Yeah, you got it.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So to that as I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your
Perusal.
perusal. Perusal, yeah, it's one of them. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Thank you. I'll try. Okay, new evidence. Gotta look at that.
It's time to break into tears.
I need to examine the evidence. I don't want a policeman will strive to preserve the peace within a loaded beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. You see, the windows on the top floor of the Gyarados house are topped hinge cases.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. They're so restricted as to how much they can open.
I love those low quality buildings in the background.
Yep.
And therefore anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall into the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map.
Does the game think we're stupid? We clearly saw that there was another hinge.
Here is the location where objects would have fallen.
Oh, yes. Directly opposite and right beside the scene of the crime on the same side of the wide, narrow road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before?
I'm pretty sure it was just brought up, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Gyarados' house is furnished with?
Well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I am very knowledgeable in the House of Windows.
Get him. Excuse me. Get him.
And I helped with the investigation yesterday. Wait, what are you doing with my wife?
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beate?
Sorry?
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Ruli's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Yeah, that is very lucky. Imagine a fresh bowl of dinner right in front of you as you're on your way home.
Oh yes, that's straight, Briar Road. That's the boundary between Raleigh's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beate!
Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the goddamn household yesterday. The house is on my beat, you see, sir.
That really was cutting it close, then.
Constable! I wonder if you should clarify something. If the Garrett household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garrett's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the one had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go to that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But it's the life of a Bobby, after all.
Oh yes, extraordinary people are Bobbies. Tirelessly working for the benefit of all us Londoners, and having to clean up the messes of the corpses on the side of the road.
You know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work.
God?
Don't you think so, my darling?
Suddenly God is involved in this case.
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Narvatel. I can read your mind, therefore I know exactly what you want to do, and I will take care of it immediately.
The case file's information has been updated in the court record.
Now it's my turn, I think.
Okay, what exactly was added? Okay. The assailant was seen running away by a reporting officer and was successfully arrested. No, not that. Did anything even... Pavement of Briar Road, east side. Okay. Obviously, if anything had been in front of the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for a lucky star.
Sorry.
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can it guide you to answer the question?
If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
If I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an expector, I would have said. 3 times at least.
Of course, what with all the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, we trying to say that
Swallow, Stevie.
Robot Zeeks!
Yes.
Robot Zeeks!
Van Zeeks, did you turn into a robot?
Beep boop. Is this still going?
Yeah. No, you're not a robot anymore. The Discord fixed itself, I think.
Great. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife cross the sky before you. Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
Okay, I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
What? What?
Because they previously said that it was on their beat, and now they're saying it wasn't.
No, yeah, they were saying it wasn't, it hadn't been.
But they said it was earlier.
No, if it had been, they were saying, like, it wasn't, because it was on the east side of Briar Road, and it was, like, close to his beat. His is on the west side.
It was.
Yeah,
No.
but I remember him saying that it was on his beat.
No, it was close to his beat. That's what they said.
Yeah, you said both sides were.
He
No.
said both sides of the street were on his beat.
No, they aren't. You didn't say that. They said it diverges. It between the streets. It splits.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my idea in case you are wrong
Like
and you
like
get stuck somewhere.
like the whole thing was that the reason he went.
to be the contrarian. Let me be the contrarian.
The whole reason he said he could go to the dinner was because it wasn't on his beat, so he didn't have to do any of the stuff. But since it was close to his beat, he had to interrogate the Garadebs.
Yeah, okay.
So it was near his beat, it just wasn't on his beat where the murder happened. Anyway, say your line, Stevie.
Yeah. I don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat.
So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling. That's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is
You know what?
Why are you
I understand him now. He likes girl failures. Amen, brother.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, please.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
Of course, I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty.
And take off my eye off the crime scene for 1 moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front.
Hold it!
Sir, you forgot the sir.
Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. Sir. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it.
Thus. How did the book
I can
get
swear
there?
to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange. It was the book, wasn't
Beg
it?
your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garadeb household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir. One that was just happened to be burnt as well.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from the photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how the book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. Oh, that... we had to press them.
Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
Oh, yes, of course. Was it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell!
Why? I wasn't really... I mean, what's he doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might
According
think that's
to
the
the
wife
other
of a
cases,
policeman.
yes it does.
I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
I can't believe Ryunosuke is sexist.
I'm not!
Don't skip this, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, let me speak, won't you?
Counsel for the defense. How dare you be sexist in this courtroom?
I wasn't!
That
She
is
just accused me of it!
That is completely unbased of you. They are guilty.
What? I didn't say anything!
Yes, Mrs. Beate, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of feast remain resistance is the sage one.
Sure. That's a very loud mutter.
That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. Beate. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
What?
Press that, I guess.
Mrs. Beate, nobody is questioning what you told us.
I did that evening. I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. And I know why I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong places when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He even gets ever...
You okay, buddy?
Excuse me.
Constable Beate, is there a problem?
No problem at all, sir.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
You mean Mrs. Beate lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find their police box and the next beat over for mine. But she was gone for a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back in. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone for a good 15.
Oh, you're such a tease. The reason I was gone so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
It was a present for our wedding anniversary. We're only so romantic. You saved up for it with farflings and half pennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic.
I forgot all about it until just now. And you, my darling?
Oh, yes. But that was just between us.
That's
No
sus.
talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to...
Really? Oh.
What's that all about? Constable Beate looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruto. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We will have to ask Mrs. Beate about the bouquet.
Mrs. Beate, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. How many of these statements are we gonna have to press?
All of them.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. We ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it at first.
And then you went to the police box to report to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's where I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beate, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right, silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street.
Wait,
Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think how it got there. I really can't.
so the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with that change from the guy he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose?
Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought for me for our anniversary, full of bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose.
Tell us, Lord Van Zykes, where did you come by the flower?
According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Gyarados household.
In front of the Gyarados house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I go back now, please?
Wait,
Bless you.
I think I have an idea of what happened.
Huh.
No.
You gonna explain why, Judge?
No.
Oh.
Just looks her in the eyes and says,
It's a
No.
symbol of our love. I want back after trial, you hear me? I want back.
Tasty Rose.
This judge sucks.
I'll be the judge. I say that they are not guilty.
I think the rose is the thing.
Objection!
Yeah! That took so long. You claimed, Constable Beate, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the street. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beate, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime, with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that mere bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described,
Meager.
meager, whatever. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meeker?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beate not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beate swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor.
You belong to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beate's bouquet, there's Mr. Gyarados' book. Mr. Gyarados' copy of The Lion's Pride, which is thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beate's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street, but in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Gyarados' house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
Don't you listen to a word the scrawny lawyer says. What's it all about books and bouquets? Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh good, Mrs. Gerardub's come round. You might call it nitpicking, Miss Gerardub. But deliberately meddling with the scene of the crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
Tampering, Mr. Naruto. Tampering, you fucking idiot.
Hey! The person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering. You've barely heard the term before. That's why you didn't remember it. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
Yes, there was someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. While the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. It's Rolly, isn't it? It's Rolly Beat. It's Rolly Beat.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who done it?
It was Luigi.
Like, no. No. Don't do it.
No. There's only one person who could have done this.
So, you gonna sit there and, stop shaking your head like a dingus?
Sorry, my lord. I was just taking a moment to get things straight in my mind.
And for that moment of wasted court's time, you will pay the price.
Is it just me or things getting more strict around here?
What were you thinking about
What you were thinking is right. Sherlock Holmes did it. I need an answer.
Okay, it was Rolly Beat.
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you!
Oh! A policeman, a member of the Scotland Yard.
What nonsense, why would my Rolly do something like that? As though it's started in my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
I don't think his sexuality is important to the case right now.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up, it's all nonsense, it's all lies! What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? That was him, he did it!
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have would have seen him do it.
Oh.
And forgive me for pointing this out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. B, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Well.
Objection!
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. Logic. You're stupid.
Mean.
You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something.
That's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? Doesn't make any sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Constable Beate had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruto, have you managed to solve this mystery? Scooby-Doo.
But who's Scooby-Doo?
Good question.
Weird.
Counsel, you've made a very serious accusation against the London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out your reputation as a lawyer will be You get me, right?
Yeah, I do.
Anywho, with that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord. Just in case they try to do a Von Karma, I'm just gonna look at the page where it says, page 2. I don't want a Von Karma being pulled. Constable Beate's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That this is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs.
What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement at Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
I'm beginning to wonder where this delicious trial will end, Counsel.
If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Obviously right here.
Take that!
But that's
On the opposite side of the road?
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garradeb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beate, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
good gracious. Oh.
Objection!
Weston, you're so bored. Sound so bored. No life in that voice.
I'm tired of the Santa bit.
Then give it a different voice. Stop being monotone.
I'm trying to add a bit, but I can't find a way to weave it in.
The monotone stuff isn't funny.
I'm trying to give it a purpose. I just need to find the right line of lines of dialogue to help me create the bit.
Fair enough.
And considering, honestly,
Perhaps-
this trial, I think I'll be real, this trial has been my least favorite one so far.
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. These witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right, I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
That's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beate then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself and the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume.
Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay there where the street lamps cast no light.
Yeah.
Weston, just give him a normal judge voice.
This is the normal judge voice.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously, just as people can't see in the dark corners of alleyways where I lurk.
Which is why it was the only bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of the Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beate?
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Rowley. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, right, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only it seems it wasn't a dream after all.
Oh! Oh boy, here we go again. What on earth is the meaning of all of this?
Oh, really, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Constable Dinner, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people and delicious people of London town.
Why are you obsessed with eating people?
I didn't say anything.
I can't say it's
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything.
I have a possible explanation. For why on that particular evening, Constable Beate felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
And yet, Lord Van Zykes, is it the foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far? Delicious mind. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if it pleases.
Yes, my lord.
Pleases. I think you better show us some evidence, big boy.
Don't call me that. And at once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions.
Blah 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 blah.
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learnt that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways, being an annoyance to me. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beate, the day in question was special.
Special? How? I completely forgot.
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beate had worked so hard to be able to afford a simple gift for his wife. Was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
When he and Mrs. Beate stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. And he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them.
Oh wait,
What
is that
must
me?
have gone through the man's mind?
I mean, it was last on Van
Maybe.
Z's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We already read this.
Yeah.
Skip it. This is the warrant card that Constable B offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives.
Oh!
Constable Beate. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said. It's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh,
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beate's beat.
Good gracious, how many times am I gonna say that? Constable, do you realize gravity of what you done?
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. We ran over to the scene. I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. Then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was laying, and what it meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations to help detectives. Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight, of all nights? Why? It is a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime. So, I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, I just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along that street, and then... Yeah. So as damning as this is, this still has nothing to say with who did it.
Yep.
I'm...
Oh, Constable! Even though you did this to yourself, I feel sympathy!
I just wanted... Just that one night, taking my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, really?
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. So you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon? You'd leave like just a nice, something like that, uneaten?
Of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would have never left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Yep, I see your meaning now. Gotta have it, nice and toasty.
But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why. That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
No, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
was, yes, sir, definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume. Mr. Mario, I mean, who's Mr. Natsume? I never heard of the guy.
Oh wait, give me a sec, I need to check. Okay. Stupid paranoia. I thought I wasn't recording.
Be the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Well said. That's because of how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hands.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. Look me up, I don't deserve life! My lord.
Yeah. What's up?
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Van Zeeks, we just learned that it was moved, and that viably it could have been thrown out the window. The stuff could have been thrown out the window onto the person, the victim.
Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him?
He will die.
I mean, I was gonna say it too. Yeah, he's gonna fucking die. For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Queen Elizabeth is gonna come into their house holding a guillotine and say, "Okay, get in."
I don't think Queen Elizabeth was alive during this time.
No, she's immortal. No, she's immortal. What are you talking about?
But she died recently.
That's what they want you to think.
Please don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
He comes home late. The first thing she does.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home.
Alright then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Where do you live so I can burn down your house? Sir! Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Go carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again say. You mean to say? Leave now. This trial is not over yet. Stop!
Huh. Van Zeeks is letting the trial go on.
Well, quite a startling revelation, Nation, I will say. Whoever thought of a third party translating the entire scene of a crime like that?
Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Mario, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime.
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous. And I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Zeeks, is this true?
Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. Again.
Yeah, name him. Go.
Take that!
The defense would once again like to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord.
Once again.
My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the full truth about this case. It's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garadeb.
Me! Oh, Jerry,
Objection!
not again!
And then it just loops back around and like, no, we're gonna continue cross-examining the freaking beat.
No.
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
Fuck you. But the situation is very different now. You can't do that BS. Mrs. Garadeb, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad, you little dipshit, you little fucking nerd?
Toad!
I'm not Toad. I don't have a mushroom on my head. At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garadeb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road.
Well, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garadeb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
I don't recall it. Totally not.
Seriously?
Why would I ever know it? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? I certainly don't remember the knife. I don't remember. You know, I really don't remember anything. Where am I?
Sure.
And anyway, the man over there and all that, and you know the regalia. I think that's it. I don't know. Said members of the jury members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4. Oh, make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You're not immune to judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out. But that's just a commoner got a knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? There's like 20 of those things in there.
That's it?
Oh, doctor.
What exactly you got?
Whale
Judge
voices.
Hung.
Now you listen to me, you little fuck. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I injured someone. Yeah, I couldn't bear it.
Oh, the poor woman! Even though she'd injured someone!
So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on it being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst.
Well,
Well, Mr. Naruto,
if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already.
Take the stand, juror. Oh, damn it! I put myself in a corner. The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks.
I'm going to have to testify? Oh, I'm gonna need a drink.
Juror number 4. I'm sure you will appreciate having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony could lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not have even been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand a full and unadulterated blood. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsel?
Certainly, my lord.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer.
Miles, making me stand at the stand. Just a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit, and I don't like being here. Witness state your name and occupation. Oh. Yes, my name is Joe Gerdem. And I'm, well, amateur, and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife, or a maid, or what anymore.
Yep, the court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify the matters of the case. Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I will warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
It's so satisfying with like both prosecution and defense go at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Oh.
Huh? Joni.
I've got this one.
Oh yeah, probably.
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Ha ha! Oh, I didn't know that you were here, John.
Why would he be here?
I see the handprint is gone.
Yeah.
He recovered.
Yeah. Still got that
That was
Phineas face
exactly
stuff.
Surgery's removed it.
That was a good recovery process of, I don't know, a couple hours.
Yeah. Actually, no, it
Even
was
though
a
you
day. It
just
was a day.
complained that it was,
It was a day.
yeah.
I can't get over Joan's face looking at him.
Just say your line.
She's doing a whale cry to a mating call.
Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your needs here? Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John!
I presume you Mr. John Goodham.
Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland.
Fusilers.
For Silas, sir. Seen my fair share of action, and now living in the quiet life, as it were. A quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incinerary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Ah, well, yes, quite.
No, oh. I believe this may represent the first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a judge to a witness stand is unprecedented. At least I think. You know, I only read my, yesterday was my first, I had to, like, read my books the first time. Yesterday. Anywho, however, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question.
Sir, at once.
Okay, the Battle of the Gyarados.
Yes, on the day you're referring to, my wife and I did have a little of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Maybe he would remember.
Plenty of knives around our place. Go for it.
I was gonna say, maybe if we press the third statement, you know, the ones about throwing everything at him, maybe something will come of it? I don't know. But so far,
Maybe.
doesn't look like anything to present.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd notice if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. If that ballad thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Should we press all of them?
I guess.
It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Although, an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. I had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment.
Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here?
Well, I would say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this dark. Blah, blah, blah.
In combat, one's focus narrows, such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end.
Van Zieks may well be right.
Well, whatever the chances. We only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm wanting to find the truth.
Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination.
Okay, so we press it all from 1 to 5.
Go for it.
Hold it!
The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Gyarados.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Miss Gyarados found the note, covering her husband's little secret.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs.
Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide from the mark anyway. A likely story.
Not again!
These walls run very deeply.
What transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
Knocked the candlestick over and set fire to the...
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it?
The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out.
A most precarious situation you put yourself in.
Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from a public tower pump during the day if you need any, you see. The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. And I say, suck it up, you little bitches. If we can deal without water, so can you. Although that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
Rude.
Woohoo! Stay hydrated!
The defendant, Mr. Mario, you mean?
Yes. He receives a stupid of studies, you know, from his own country.
Woohoo! Make sure you are constantly moist!
Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man?
I believe he uses all his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Oh, that's not what I meant. No, no. I meant to skip the dialogue. No, I'm trying to skip the dialogue. There.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire.
As far as I was concerned at the time. It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she wants to throw.
That is all certainly not true of a Susanoo takedown, Mr. Naruto.
Archino was thinking that. So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
Oh. In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic,
Fine,
a towel,
sure.
a sponge, a napkin.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garadeb.
Don't you... sorry. I beg your pardon.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind?
Nothing of any significance, no. Just in the barrage of projectiles that old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall.
Ouch.
And the woman's aim is uncanny, and it... Ah! Good grief, woman, we're not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me, I'm ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would never throw such things at you, obviously. We'll take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened?
She broke the pipe.
Your pipe, sir. Can I get it? Can I have a smoke?
As this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did. Yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage.
I see. Your pipe was broken.
It would never have been able to. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Also, my tobacco tastes of tea.
Yeah, obviously.
Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I wonder what we should make of this account. Obviously, it's important. The defense believes Mr. Garrett remarks just now could be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed. Common sense, one might say. Fuck you.
Might want.
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe? The pipe, sir?
Excuse you, Mrs. Salto.
I hiccuped. It's okay.
Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me, there you go again. Trying to integrate yourself with a young lady.
Starts throwing things at him in the cart room.
That's assault.
I'm gonna throw my teapot at you now. Yeah!
That's gonna stab him.
Very well, the court will
What's
accept
of
the
it?
gentleman's pipe as
Oh
evidence.
shit, wait, he's bleeding.
Examine,
Examine that
examine.
I hope something.
Okay. Well,
So it's cracked on the side.
it looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like he's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Gerdeb's dressing gown.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garrett, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that, or he can't afford to replace it.
There's a crack on the side.
Yeah, I saw that too.
There's a small nick out of the bottle here. Look, it appears to have been made relatively recently.
And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe.
Yes, you're right. Seems to me recently that being well loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye though, because it's clearly new. What?
What do you mean clearly new?
Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this?
It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of the blade or something.
The tip of a blade? Surely it could be. Wait a minute.
Yeah, the knife had no blade. knife and lost the blade tip.
God damn it. So it
I
literally.
hate the blade.
This is the tiny piece of metal we found in the chamber of Mr. Getup's pipe.
It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade.
Thanks for spelling it
Yes,
out.
tip of a blade.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto?
I don't really know. There's just something niggling at me. I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
What are you?
I think we need to put a sensor over that one.
It would be it would be wise to examine some other pieces of evidence again.
I guess we have to
Surely.
examine. I guess we have to examine the knife again, and then
Yep.
do.
Here we go again. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. Oh, whoever
Wait,
could have
part of it's
foreseen this?
missing? I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Gyarados' pipe.
Yes, and just maybe.
Oh my, is that where we fit? They didn't even bother to animate.
Somehow I just knew it.
Well
Wait.
animated, guys.
The evidence didn't even update.
Exactly.
But hey, we now have proof that you threw hard stuff.
Oh, there it is.
so-
Yep, there. Yep, it updated. The fifth of which was broken off and found inside Mr. Getup's pipe bowl.
Okay. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to this song, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully, which we already did.
Whoa! You tell the court about the knife that used to fab them.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say if I noticed if one or two. Okay, so we either show it on this statement or this one. I think it's this
there
one.
it is.
I mean,
no, the
you-
second one. That next one is it. Absolutely.
Yeah, the second one had. Oh wait, yeah, this one definitely.
No!
You'll
No!
be proving it.
What?
Come on!
That's it, like you have a. Shut up, Santa.
I guess it was that.
Maybe the metal thing.
No,
the
no,
thing
no!
or
It
two went
updated.
missing,
It
not-
updated. It updated. It said the tip is mentioned here. So
Objection.
what? Okay, I need
Yeah,
to
I was gonna
save.
say,
I
it
need to
makes sense
save.
there.
We gotta save.
Yeah.
I love it when most likely probably translation team doesn't realize and they can create like a bunch of things that would work with evidence pieces, but it's like, nuh-uh.
Okay, gonna quickly save.
I better not see you scratching my door later, dog.
So I think it's the last one.
We tried the last one.
Yeah, I know. Try the. I know that you said it was updated, but try the tip of the blade anyway. Because it was found in his pipe, so then it would be like, oh hey, look at that.
Oh, thank
Bruh.
God! Why?
It,
Why couldn't you present both of them?
why update the previous evidence piece if that can't be used?
Mr. Getup, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please?
Here's why it never said it was updated. You can ask, but I can hardly see a bally thing.
You can't?
Used to call me Dead-Eye Dead back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now.
That face. That face.
I think I found our thumbnail. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. It does, dear me. It's rather it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter in every other word.
Don't you mean it's rather weather deering?
You must did very dizzy. What? Ryunosuke, what's that joke?
You must be very busy.
Oh no! Ah! No.
You must be very dizzy.
What is that? A tiny scrap of metal?
No, you mean a tiny scrap of metal?
Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence.
Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence?
It was lodged inside the chamber of Mr. Gerdub's pipe.
My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how it got there.
I guess we present the
What
jackknife now.
What presented does this fragment of metal signify, Council? Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? Of which I'm not a very big fan of. I prefer to, you know, just go straight at the victims alive.
I am!
What?
When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. She has to stand on a box.
You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence in favor of this fragment of metal allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
I'm not
Please
messing
hurry.
up, but...
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece of the piece at the tip of the blade that is missing.
A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Unsavory? Unsavory? It's probably unsavory. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones.
And what is this particular knife?
No doubt its tip had a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Gerdub's pipe.
Ah!
Good grief, Lord Van Zeeks.
I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match.
Good golly.
Wait,
That is a...
wait, he had his underpants burned.
What?
Did you see it?
Maybe after all, it's not Santa. You gotta rearrange the letters. It's Satan!
No!
Or... Wait, hold on. If I'm gonna carry on with that bit.
Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery?
This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle.
A miracle. I quite hate those.
So Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he?
Council, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once.
Yes, my lord. This crucial point that we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Gyardub's pipe?
Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
Yeah, we already read this. We just read this!
We literally... Yeah, I was gonna say, we literally just read it.
No, this game was made for people with dementia. They're for gore.
Oh, dearie me.
During the argument between these two that occurred, just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Gyardub flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gyardub, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time.
Which caused the tip to break off, of course.
Good lord.
Yes.
Actually, when I say that, no!
Yes, and that is when the tiny tipped blade, Jojo, you okay? Found its way inside Mr. Gyardub's pipe.
The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1.
And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window.
Ah.
In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Gyardub's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. I feel like we're almost done with the case.
Who's here? Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, no!
Yeah, see, right there!
Oh, yep, it is. I need tea! I need tea! I need my alcoholic tea! I also need alcohol. A full-bodied theory. I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling this argument.
Sorry.
But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for listening.
Matt Pat?
Matt Pat's descendant.
Ancestor.
Ancestor. Ah!
Yeah.
I get the two
The
confused.
bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see...
A second time?!
Legs. It's spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency.
An insurmountable. What?!
Lord Van Six, explain yourself.
Okay, hold on. I gotta take deep breaths for this every single time.
If it hurts, take a minute.
What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified?
An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. My Satan, I guess. I'm not too sure what to call it.
Anytime anyone says it, he just starts burning alive.
The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back.
Yes, in a.
Not again.
That's right, you silly little man.
And the mark is there! Wait, it just disappeared!
And it's gone.
It despawned!
Now, Joanne, thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way that it could have planted itself into the victim's back. She was leaning down to get the book. I'll answer it for you.
Yeah.
Quite right, you see. That's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Stop
Sorry, I keep
slapping
you on it,
him!
but not really. You deserve it.
Well,
That's where I was looking to it. I never liked theory in the first place.
It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. For this their soul is at ransom.
If a theory had even one inconsistency, has even one consistency even, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. Tell that to Matt Pat.
we were so close. I could see the truth. Ryunosuke, it's so obvious. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked
right there.
completely.
Sasato,
With just
you
one
just slap
simple
him.
inconsistency.
Slap him, Sasato.
Or another was. Wait, what? Oh, it was Sasato.
Oh,
We need to eliminate that one inconsistency and make the and the theory will stand.
Mr. Sato!
You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruto. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. So much so that you thought I was you. What if the path you were on is indeed correct? Then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record. I'm sure all the information you need is right there.
It's in the book, but I'm gonna save real quick in case I get it wrong somehow.
yep. Fair enough. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes.
Sleepy.
It's a tactic. Acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection.
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 I give up.
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is.
What are you implying?
Counsel.
There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Goodness! Utter madness.
Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
It's the book, it's the book, it's the book, it's the book. What Stevie said.
Number 4.
This is the last inconsistency, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... the lion's pride, oh god.
Take that!
This, the 4th book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present!
The burnt book.
Is that
We're back, baby!
Finally, the pursuit theme!
is that not Mr. Garrett's book?
Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand.
But as we all now know, it was all the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that.
Quite so, with one of his wholesale translating of the crime scene to the opposite end of the road.
That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beate made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. We already read it. It was already in her hand. We know. Skip. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up on her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound.
Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd be doing much of anything.
So, the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand?
By Jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me! We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrett household onto the pavement below. At precisely the moment that the victim was walking past.
Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw?
Yes, Mrs. Garrett, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up.
Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book,
You are dead.
the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight in the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Mario.
Well, I never.
It appeared to Mr. Mario that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above.
From the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
So there was never a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place.
No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett?
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, old bean.
Poor Mrs. Garadab.
Oh, of course I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but I fucked up. It was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. Lock me away! I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. And I threw the knife as well. And you should throw away my freedom!
At least it won't be that big of a
John.
sentence, because it was entirely an accident.
Lock me away! Life! Please! I deserve it! It's alright. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! Oh! My guy, you got some good arm strength. And you got a bad knee.
I'll be honest, not as funny as the one from Case 1.
Yeah.
You know.
You see attack!
Lord Van Six, what news of Mrs. Gerda?
She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There's no cause for concern.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions.
There is some good news, however, my lord.
Oh!
my Satan, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh.
I have just had word from the hospital where the victim has been treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
That's
By the
good.
way, why did she lose consciousness?
Shock, maybe? It's strange, we've been
Maybe?
talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her.
How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems.
Yes, that's good news.
So, Mr. Mario.
Yes.
On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies.
No, it is me who should be begging your pardon.
Oh no, Mr. Mario.
The evening when the young one we just collected on the pavement before my eyes. I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion.
Oh, what conclusion, sir?
I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes. Constable Beate said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too.
I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless.
It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me.
Poor Mario-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes, poor man.
So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have gone for help, for a doctor, for the police.
I thought you were a doctor, though, Mr. Dr. Mario.
No, that doesn't that doesn't happen yet.
That's my cousin.
Oh.
Instead of to create a written relationship between trust of our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
Wait, he's at the witness! He's a juror now!
One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. Me. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. Me. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. No! I heartily commend you both.
Oh!
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, my lord.
In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court?
As the foreman of the jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
Well, I'm successful in that, that's for sure.
Sitting in for the old bean while she's out for action, you know. But I know what her decision would be.
Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. Jesus. Oh!
I say, I'll have a cooker besides the grandchildren when I get home, won't I?
Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Very well. Mr. Mario, I hereby pronounce you man and wife.
What?
Oh, the game had their own. I forgot they had indoor fireworks.
Yeah.
And then the building caught fire again. Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No!
And finally, Mr. Mario.
Oh, yes, Lord, sir. Oh!
You are now a free man once more. It is my hope you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me!
Oh, yes, sir. Of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set a foot in the courtroom again. That's what it is!
Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned.
We're not done. The
And
case.
then he
Died.
We're not leaving until the case is fully over. We're gonna keep playing.
Yeah.
Cause it's
Yeah,
almost
that's
over.
fine.
My throat hurts from like the swapping back and forth between like the gravelly deep tones and Mario.
Speaking
Oh, look,
Wait, you mean me?
of course! Is there another locum here?
Is there even one?
Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruto Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, oh, it was me. I'm sorry.
Oh, at last I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Hearty, hearty happiness, hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Mario is delighted.
Would it be so hard to just say that then?
Look, you did it! You saved me from the brink!
Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now.
No, not at that! Lovely loyal, locum lawyer!
Yes.
Hey, man, as I said before, I have just got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback.
Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Mario.
And then they kick me to the curb, and then they beat me up. They take my money, they throw banana on me. They take my money, they go to the store and they get a bunch of things. And then they walk past me with all their good things. And then they kick me one more time and they pick me up and throw me down the stairs.
I'm sure that's all in your head.
See, you look up lawyer gave me my gloom boot. Oh, you stood far behind the baronial bench before all those public British. You better to the bitter and lay bare the baffling truth. I have so much saliva on my screen from how much I'm rolling my R's. When I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I below. Behold the best person ever born!
Well, my name's not the best, but well, that's very flattening.
Flattering.
Flattering. Well, that's very flattering.
No, wait, a thwomp. Erg.
That's very flattering. We're very pleased for you.
This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan.
Oh, an anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Sholmes!
Oh, there you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I was late this morning.
Oh, Mr. Jones, what a pleasure to see you.
I see. Sorry. Like, I'm here to... Not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh.
The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruto. And I wish you the very best of luck.
It's just finished.
What? No, not... My race was in vain! Ah! It's you! Hard luck, Stubbs!
No, it's girl like Lomies, and now we know.
This is Mr. Mario. The man you arrested, Mr. Sholmes?
The man you talked with in the detention center just yesterday night?
Mr. Sholmes?
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I still look at a place with a curious face. In the light.
Charming.
Hey, this is all your fault. Good luck, blobbies. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Go to hell!
My apologies, sir, but I assure you I've placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not?
Eh?
Had she been taken to a hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now.
Oh!
But it was unavoidable answer. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience.
Hey, look at my left hand. Oh. I do feel very badly about how I behaved.
Well, never mind, now then. What was it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh, priceless. I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless.
Poor Mario-san.
Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty.
But there is no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Mario?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper!
Oh, Lord Van Zooks.
I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you still don't!
Hey, that's me! It will be alright, Mr. Mario! If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you! Even though it's gonna be so hard.
What?
With a perfectly executed Susanoo takedown! Trademark pending!
Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Mr. Zato. So, Mr. Mario, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan.
Well, it is time. Time to jump up in the air.
No!
Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
It's time to get copyright struck!
Here, if you want one that's not going to get us copyrighted, do the Mario. Swing your arms from side to side.
No!
Oh!
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've honored with the totally diligent professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it's my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
That's very touching, Mr. Mario.
Aww.
Or in perhaps less veiled terms. You wish to withdraw halfway around the world and escape the terror of the Reaper's curse.
That's nothing at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own.
Oh, I see. Work of literature by Sasaki Mario-san. Could be interesting to read.
And what about Mr. Sato and yourself, Mr. Naruto?
Sorry, what about us?
Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot?
Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London.
Yeah, it's only been 3 days.
And only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet.
It's only been 3 days.
Wait, where were our feet?
Wait, what?
I said we found our feet.
Oh.
Where were they?
Oh, I don't know. On the
Wait,
ground?
what are feet?
The things on the ground that are keeping you standing.
I've always called those Shom's not foot. What? I've always called those Shom's ground projectionies.
You mean ground hands?
No, projectionies. It projects your body up off the ground.
What?
And are you not accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not?
That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
10
That's
nights
two
of
5
financing.
nights at the hotel.
Well then, you could take my lodgings.
Oh, the windowless room?
But what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up with a floor, a ceiling, and walls, and books to eat.
Great.
And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit to look at my left hand!
Oh my, an evil spirit? Yeah! I'll take it down.
Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call!
We'll think about it, if that's alright.
Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me?
What?
Starts stroking his chin.
Really? Lodgings! Circle! Wrong game!
Well, I'm doing a Mario voice. Like, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it's up in the attic, I might add.
Circle Jones.
Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft?
I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to think of?
Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to take lodging at the Great Detective's office! It's ecstatic! I'm too overcome for words!
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then?
Then it's settled. I wish to prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Mario. I insist.
I don't know what to say, but thank you and yes. I haven't eaten in 3 days.
What?
Wonderful! Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Mario! That shit take long!
Somebody's happy.
A bit.
Look, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London.
Likewise, Mr. Mario. It's been a privilege meeting you too. Hey, could you... Hey, Hey, as payment, could you potentially let me be in a future Mario game?
No.
Oh. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon.
Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But look, we'll meet again one day.
Yes, I'm
Some
sure.
sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always.
And hopefully by then I'll be a successful lawyer.
I'm going to get this video copyrighted and you cannot stop me! Ultimately, I'll be a successful author.
Look, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Let's ditch this auto, it'd be funny.
No.
Come on!
No, I'm not doing that to my friends.
friends.
Wait, what?
He's trying to ditch you!
You trying to what me?
He's trying to ditch you!
No! No!
Shall we go, Mr. Naruto?
Susanoo takedown on Sholmes! Yeah!
I have little doubt that Mr. Mario will be released in time for dinner this evening. Let's ditch him!
And so, we ditched Mr. Mario. And with Mario-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street.
Wait, they left him alone? He's gonna die.
It's a ladder!
What?
Whoa. It's a ladder.
Oh, inspect that immediately.
There's also a bucket.
And a shovel. So this.
This is a bucket.
Now it's a pail.
My God!
There's more.
No! It's to be our new office. Yes!
Our office? I really like the sign of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Cosmo. It's only a small step. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now.
So, my dear fellow, do you like the place?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
Whoa!
Yes, thank you so much. I guess that's what he looks like. Yeah.
God damn. He's spiffy.
I feel like I should change the voice for this, and only this outfit alone.
Maybe.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good. I'm pleased to...
No! No! Go back to the Shaggy voice! Go back to the Shaggy voice!
Maybe he becomes Fred now.
I can't do Fred!
Yeah, fair enough.
It would be hilarious. Like, he's all the Scooby-Doo characters at some point.
No.
Yeah. I could do Scooby.
No, he would not be Scooby in this.
Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. What are you eating as soon as Mr. Mario arrives? Even love to celebrate.
Iris, you must let me help you.
Everything so easy. You can be in charge of the salad.
Splendid! Even though salad's not my favorite food, I don't really like salad. But hey, whatever you like.
So, Mr. Naruto, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital?
It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us.
None. You're kidnapped now.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at the premises. I have no hat. I'm a scratchhead. Until I discovered the dark truth of the city of London, that is.
Sorry?
London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows.
Shadows? What do you mean?
Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruto. Welcome to London.
Of course,
And now
it's
we're getting to
time.
the thing of Mr. Mario dying.
I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Shulman so casually spoke. It wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the moat that lay behind it.
End!
Landed in London.
Ooh, we have cut these past 2 cases close.
The adventure of the unspeakable story.
Huh.
Whoa. The Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but
That looks
not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. I guess we're playing that one next time.
Yep.
Yep.
Now it's on to the case ranking. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
That was the worst one. That was the worst one of the bunch, I will say.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Hmm.
The Clouded
see
Kokoro.
So far, that was the worst one of the bunch.
Fair.
My biggest issue with it is definitely
Where
the
at for worst one?
like the testimonies themselves. I think overall, Roly Beat was not a very interesting character.
Fair, yeah.
His one gimmick was that he was sleeping.
Yeah.
That's not much to go off of for a character. And as well too, it kind of becomes tedious because like his dialogue is so slow, it's hard to get to the point.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, all of the testimonies were the same thing. Press, 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 press. Wait for a reaction. Press.
Yeah, that was kind of, yeah.
As well to it, I would also say that the Gyarados were not the most interesting of characters.
Yeah, that's not really,
Yeah.
that's not really like, you know,
There was plenty of room for them to be fleshed out, but they didn't take it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked it if Gyarados' whole like he's a war veteran aspect was played up a bit. Like
Would've
give it a
been
bit more of exaggeration.
Might have been fun, but you didn't really
Yeah.
do that until like later in the case.
Yeah. The best characters were Soseki.
Mario.
That was easily the
Yeah.
He was just his exaggeration is not only like very interactive, like engaging as a character, but for me, voicing him was awesome. It was fun. I got to like put my energy into like all of it into that.
Yeah, fair. I really like
Yeah.
that guy.
But that doesn't save the case from being kind of meh.
Yeah. So where are we
Uh,
thinking of putting it?
Let me see, let me full screen so I can see all the rankings. Meh, 5 out of 10, personally. It's not bad, not good.
Do we want to change any
Yeah,
of
I
the
can see
other
that.
placements of the cases?
No.
You sure?
No, I still know 2 was my favorite. 1 right behind it. 3,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't remember too much.
Fair.
That I know it for the leprechaun.
The
Yeah.
only thing I remember
Okay,
is
that's
that
all I needed.
the only thing I remember from that case is that Magnus McGilded was sus, and you could have
He
been
was
the
sus
murderer.
and a leprechaun, and it forever corrupted your YouTube inspiration page.
Yeah, for some reason my YouTube inspiration page is that.
Leprechauns.
Don't worry, now it's gonna become Mario.
So sometime in the future, we're gonna play The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story, but for now, that's all. Goodbye, bully.
Bye bye.